Happy Easter, everybody. It's a beautiful Easter day here in Windsor, Ontario. I am out in the beautiful town of LaSalle along Turkey Creek. It's not going to be a traditional ride video today. I thought what I would do is come out and talk to you, as you've seen in the title, about what happened to my Ortlieb Trunk Bag RC, what happened, how Ortlieb Canada handled it, and all that good stuff. So it's not going to be, like I said, a true ride video. I'm not going to do a bunch of off-bike shots and all that. I'm probably going to put the drone up a couple times, as you already can see, get some practice with the drone again, and find myself a good quiet place where we can talk about what happened and like I said, the events that surrounded it. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alright, so I found a spot to talk about the trunk bag and what happened with it. We're just off the Greenway here in this little kind of open field here. This one's gone back to natural. They've let it kind of go back to natural state. You can see a lot of turkey tracks in the mud and stuff like that. There's a little creek right there, and then a farmer's field on the other side. And then some woods over here. So pretty nice spot, pretty quiet. So let's talk about the Ortlieb Trunk Bag RC and what happened. So last Saturday, or 2 Saturdays ago, I was coming home from the bike shop and I decided I was going to stop for a burrito. When I was in, it was a really windy day. There was heavy duty wind advisories all day long, warning, you know, people to be careful if they were outside and whatnot. Unfortunately, I was at work when the winds really picked up. And by the time I got to the burrito shop, it was quite an adventure. So I was inside the burrito shop. I was watching my bike. I had it in a spot where I thought it was out of the wind. All of a sudden, a real heavy gust of wind picked up, probably about 50 kilometers an hour, picked my bike up and kind of tossed it. When it did, it broke my bag. So you can see on this side, right here, there should be a handle that connects between these two, as you can see on this side here. Hopefully the lighting's good enough. Yeah, so you can see this is the release handle. I'm going to show you in a second here. I'm going to undo that, show you a couple things in a second here. But yeah, so this just, when it hit the ground, as you can see, it does stick out a bit. I don't know if it could be designed any different, a little stealthier or not. I think there's racks that would work better with this. I've noticed when I have my panniers on that this bar here is a little on the low side. I know there are racks that this second bar does come down further, which would probably be helpful. I do have another bag that's an MIK bag from a company called Basil. I'm going to be talking about that more in the future. This is an MIK rack, so the rack is meant to clip right into it. So I'm going to be trying that. I'm going to be keeping this. In all fairness, Ortlieb did send me the replacement parts. Okay, so this is the one that broke. As you can see, the handle snapped right off where it attached. And then this is the new one that was sent. So when it happened, I bought the bag from a company out of Quebec, Canada called Primo Velo. I contacted them, but at the same time, I also contacted Ortlieb Canada. Ortlieb Canada contacted me back right away, and a guy from Ortlieb Canada named Mark took care of everything. Right away, sourced out the new handle and sent it to me immediately. No cost, no charge, nothing. So really good experience. You know, a lot of times people like to rip on and hate on these bigger companies that are really successful and talk about how much money they cost. I understand that Ortlieb can be expensive, and maybe it's not for everybody, but now that I've been looking at different bags, I find that Ortlieb isn't really that much more expensive than any of the other major brands. But like a lot of the big brands, what I've found is when something happens, they don't mess around. They just want to take care of it and make the customer happy. And that's what happened here. Like I said, a really good experience with Mark from Ortlieb Canada. So if Mark from Ortlieb Canada happens to be watching this, thank you very much. I really appreciate the experience. It was a very good one. And if I ever have to work with you in the future, I know it's going to be a good one. So thanks, Mark, over at Ortlieb Canada. Okay, so to give my final thoughts on what happened with the Ortlieb Trunk Bag RC, the RC stands for roll closure, by the way, it was pretty positive. What happened turned out to be a bad experience when it happened, but a good one in with how it was dealt with by Ortlieb Canada. Again, thanks, Mark. But yeah, it doesn't deter me from spending money on Ortlieb products again in the future. Like I said, I do have a new trunk bag coming that I think will work with this rack better. But I will be keeping this trunk bag to use with different racks in the future, because I will definitely be buying different touring bikes going forward in the years to come. So definitely a good system. The fact that it broke, if you would have saw how hard it hit the ground, and it fell onto cement too. So I need to mention that for full disclosure, that it came down onto cement. You can't expect too much to hold up to a full blow, direct blow on cement or concrete. So yeah, anyways, I definitely would say that if you're thinking about getting the Trunk Bag RC, don't let what happened with this deter you. It's a very durable bag. I've been using it since I made the last video, which I think has been about almost 2 months now, for basically commuting around the city. And it's held up really well. I've been taking it on the trails around Malden Park and Black Oaks, on the dirt trails, and making sure that it holds up to bumps and stuff like that. Sure, it makes a little noise when you don't have it fully loaded and things are rattling around inside, but that's to be expected. But yeah, as I said, guys, full marks for how Ortlieb handled this, and the Ortlieb trunk bag so far has been really awesome. I really like it as a commuting bag around the city. I don't have to put the panniers on. It's sleek. I don't have to worry about it going in and out of doors, catching on anything. So I've really liked the Ortlieb trunk bag. And for me going forward, trunk bags are going to be a big part of my setup for commuting and boat touring. I plan on using the trunk bag, whether it's this one or the new one I'm going to be getting, to keep all my electronics in and various other things that I want to access throughout the day without having to open up my pannier bag. So really liking the trunk bag. And like I said, what happened was not a reflection on the quality of the bag. And if anything, it was a reflection on how well Ortlieb handles customer care. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and at least found it informative and got some information out of it. If you have any questions about the Trunk Bag RC, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. If you have anything you want to add to this situation, experience maybe similar to what you've had with this or another trunk bag, please let us know. We'd all love to hear it for sure. Next week at around this time or a little later, in probably about 10 days, I'm going to be doing an overnight trip, so stay tuned for that. It's a little bit of a redemption trip, heading out to Wheatley Provincial Park, which is where I was heading when I had the health scare. I should mention all tests were done and we still don't know exactly what happened. So my goal for this summer and this touring season is to drink and eat properly, and that is a 100% goal that I'm going to stick to going forward. So we'll see if I can do it. I've said that every year and I never follow through properly on it, but this year I'm determined to do it. I'm going to tell the people that I tour with, keep an eye, make sure I'm drinking and eating properly, and kick me in the butt if I don't. So anyways, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. If you'd like to support the channel, I do have a Patreon and buy me a coffee links. They will be in the description below. If you want to check that out, I'd really appreciate it. Some other videos coming up. I want to apologize for the time in between videos. some things have been going on, and I am going to do a video in the very near future about what's been happening and why I haven't had as many videos out. It will be of a serious nature, so for those of you that aren't into those more serious personal videos, I understand if you don't want to check that one out, but stay tuned for that. I'll explain a little more what's been going on with the lack of videos. So anyways, I hope you're all getting out there, like I said, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. So as I was riding home, I realized that I did not mention why I did not install the new handle on the bag after it broke. After the bag broke, I noticed that the bag still worked, and I continued to use it for the week and a half it took to get the new handle. For me, I think I'm just going to leave it off because the bag works perfectly, as you'll see, without it on. It snaps on. You only need the one of the handles to release it as well. You release the one side and it comes right off. So I'm going to leave it off for now, but I have the new handle. I will keep it, I think, as a spare in case the other one breaks, because even if I get a new bike and I put this bag on the new rack, I really don't think there's a need for two of them. So it just eliminates the chance of one breaking when you're just using the trunk bag. So I just wanted to mention that in case anybody was wondering why I didn't have it on there. So that's that.